Coach operator Flixbus has announced the return of the 666 bus service to the Polish seaside resort of Hel. It resurrects the controversial so-called Highway to Hell bus journey, formerly run by local company PKS Gdynia.
Airstrikes resumed between the US and Iran over the weekend as each side claimed to have hit military targets near the Strait of Hormuz. The US Central Command, CENTCOM, said it conducted self-defense strikes on Iranian radar and command and control sites for drones in Gorak, Iran and Keshem Island this weekend.
The Islamabad District Administration has enforced revised business operating hours under ongoing austerity measures, with the new timings coming into effect from June 1, under the notification issued by the Office of the District Magistrate. All shops, markets and shopping malls in the capital will close at 8 p.m. throughout the week, including Saturdays and Sundays.
Alima Khan, the sister of PTI founder Imran Khan, on Monday dismissed reports about the former premier's meeting with an ex-army chief at Adiala jail as totally fake. All the news circulating on social media that a former army chief met Imran Khan in Adiala jail is fake, she said in a post on the social media platform X. US-listed cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase is allowing users in India to make trades using the rupee, marking a key expansion of its services in Asia's third largest economy. Customers can deposit and withdraw rupees through the so-called immediate payment service channel, the company said on Monday.
Pop star Dua Lipa and Fantastic Beasts actor Callum Turner married in London on Sunday, according to media reports, which said the low-key nuptials may be followed by a 3-day party in Sicily. The Sun and Daily Mail tabloids showed photos of the couple leaving Old Marylebone Town Hall following a civil ceremony with just a handful of family and friends. The federal government is preparing to end a wide range of tax exemptions from July 1, 2026, in a major move aimed at increasing revenue, expanding the tax net and reducing special treatment for selected sectors and regions. Under the plan, tax relief measures set to expire on June 30, 2026 are not expected to be extended in the next fiscal year. This means many individuals, businesses and industries that currently enjoy lower taxes or exemptions will start paying taxes under the normal system from the beginning of FY 2026-27. Paris. Iga Swiatek's 25th birthday celebrations turned sour at the French Open on Sunday when the former champion lost to 15th seed Marta Kostyuk in the fourth round, and her quest for a fifth title ended just when she had looked to be rediscovering her form. Swiatek's shock 7-5, 6-1 loss came amid a chaotic spell at Roland Garros, with men's world number one Jannik Sinner, 24 times Grand Slam winner Novak Djokovic and defending women's champion Coco Gauff all going out in the previous 3 days.
In Pakistan, owning a house is more than just shelter. It is a symbol of financial stability and social status. However, this goal is slipping out of reach for many as soaring property prices and real wage decline have made home ownership increasingly unaffordable. Before getting into the extent of this problem, we first need to understand the country's demographics and how the problem is only expected to amplify. By 2100, Pakistan is projected to be the third largest country in the world with more than 500 million inhabitants. Based on the average household size of 6.3 per 2023 census, the country potentially faces an annual demand of 977,497 houses. While that foretells a massive planning and resource challenge, the distribution is even more telling.
The US said it struck Iranian military sites at the weekend, and Iran's Revolutionary Guard said on Monday it had targeted a US base in response, the latest in a series of exchanges amid negotiations to end the 3-month-old war. The strikes on Iran's Gulf coast were in response to aggressive Iranian actions that included the shoot-down of a US MQ-1 drone that was operating over international waters. The US Central Command said in a post on X.
President Donald Trump's mercurial personality has been under intense scrutiny in his own country and beyond. Many of his personality traits and governing style have been widely commented upon and discussed. What is perhaps under-recognised but more consequential, especially for his foreign policy, is how he takes initiatives or starts an endeavour but never finishes them. He embarks on a course of action but doesn't see it through to bring it to closure. Whether this is because of his short attention span, lack of staying power or consistency, the result is half-done ventures. Among the reasons for this is that he sets unrealistic objectives, and when he finds they are unattainable, he moves on. Trump changes course when he cannot get his own way. Rather than try to fix the issue at hand, he prefers to kick the can down the road. He switches attention almost randomly from one policy area to another, leaving issues unresolved. Thing, dude. My gosh, there's a whole fleet of them. They're all going against the wind. Look at that thing. It's rotating. While this may sound like a scene from a sci-fi film, these were the voices of US Navy aviators reacting to an object detected by military sensors in footage later known as gimbal. The Pentagon formally released that video along with two others in 2020, confirming that they showed what it described as unidentified aerial phenomena. In May 2026, the Pentagon began releasing more declassified UAP material in batches through the Presidential Unsealing and Report System for UAP Encounters, known as PERSHU, hundreds of files and more than 50 videos, including historical records of green orbs, discs and fireballs, as well as newer military-linked footage. This, in its simplest form, is known as the Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena.
Fee structure is on par with private universities, but facilities are nowhere near the same standard, laments a student. Cuts admits students are suffering, holds bad administration responsible for their woes. Students wonder why CM Sindh remain silent spectators to crisis at country's largest university, Karachi. Nearly 50 Zuzan students at the country's largest university have been left in limbo as the teachers' boycott of semester examinations over what they claimed unpaid dues enters its fourth week, disrupting academic plans and causing growing anxiety among students and their parents. The United States has issued a notice affirming its restrictions on shipments of semiconductors to subsidiaries of Chinese companies located outside China amid concerns about loopholes in Washington's export control regime. The Department of Commerce said in the guidance issued on Sunday that its licensing requirements for the export of advanced AI chips applied to all businesses with headquarters or a parent company in China.
The government must stop shifting the cost of weak revenue mobilisation onto households and the corporate sector and instead offer targeted tax relief to offset the burden imposed in recent years, including a reduction in the petroleum levy. While support for the most vulnerable remains necessary given high poverty levels, sustained job-creating growth is vital. It is unreasonable to tax a monthly income of $50,000, which falls below the amount required for a family's subsistence. To make the tax regime more logical and equitable, the income tax threshold should be raised to $1.5 million per annum, Rs. $125,000 per month from the current Rs. $600,000. The tax slabs and rates should then be recalibrated accordingly to preserve progressivity while providing meaningful relief to low-income earners.
28 years after the nuclear tests at Chagai, the strategic environment in South Asia has shifted dramatically. The assumptions that shaped Pakistan's deterrence posture in 1998 and the paradigm shift from credible minimum deterrence to full-spectrum deterrence were rooted in visions of a conventional invasion, mass mobilization, and large-scale armored thrusts across the border.
President Donald Trump has requested that edits be made to the US-Iran deal aimed at bringing an end to fighting that began earlier this year. US media reported the changes are related to the Strait of Hormuz and the removal of highly enriched uranium, CBS News, the BBC's US news partner, reported. The White House did not respond to a request for comment.
Colombia's presidential election will go to a runoff on the 20th of June between a leftist and right-wing candidate on opposite ends of the political spectrum. After Sunday's vote produced no overall winner, the right-wing Abelardo de la Espriella, an admirer of Donald Trump, came top in the vote, followed closely by the left-wing Senator Ivan Cepeda, an ally of the current president Gustavo Petro.
Far-right outsider Abelardo de la Espriella will face left-wing Senator Ivan Cepeda in the runoff for Colombia's presidential election next month. After polls closed on Sunday, the two candidates quickly surged ahead in the vote tally, extinguishing the hopes of right-wing Senator Paloma Valencia, a former frontrunner.
Brooklyn Rivera, an indigenous leader, politician and activist, has died at age 73 after years in Nicaraguan state custody, prompting outcry from rights advocates. On Sunday, Nicaragua's government attributed his cause of death to a bacterial infection that took hold after a bout of COVID-19. Ras Baraka, the mayor of Newark in New Jersey, has imposed a curfew on the area surrounding Delaney Hall, the immigration detention centre that has become a flashpoint in the debate over United States President Donald Trump's mass deportation drive.
The Sunday morning announcement came amid tensions outside the detention centre, which is run by the private contractor Geo Group, as part of a 15-year deal with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE.
Virat Kohli's unbeaten 75 and inspired bowling-led Royal Challengers Bengaluru RCB to their second straight Indian Premier League IPL title. With a 5-wicket win against Gujarat Titans, Bengaluru restricted Gujarat to 155-8, a total they chased down with 12 balls to spare, after Kohli reached his 5th half-century of the season in a lopsided final in Ahmedabad on Sunday.
Environmental activist Erin Brockovich has a new mission, bringing more transparency to data centre construction and the impact those data centres have on nearby communities. Brockovich, who was famously played by Julia Roberts in a film dramatising her legal case against Pacific Gas and Electric, recently launched a website with a map of data centres across the United States.
A military official from Pakistan has said that the country's resolute response to India during the May 2025 conflict had effectively debunked the notion of space for war in South Asia. Commander First Corps Lieutenant General Nauman Zakaria made these remarks during a special session at the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore on Saturday.
Carcass of a dead humpback whale whose attempted rescue captivated many across Germany has been pulled ashore. Timmerlapsad footage published by German news site News 5 on Saturday showed the whale being towed slowly onto a beach on the Danish island of Anholt by an industrial winch. Intends to conduct a post-mortem examination on Thursday.
A blast on Sunday at a building in northeastern Myanmar, said to have been storing explosives for mining, has killed more than 45 people, according to rescue workers and independent media reports. About 70 other people were injured in the explosion that took place around noon in the village of Kauntup in Nam Kam Township.